There we go. Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Today, I know it's a bit too early for this show, but I wanted to change a little bit of my hours and schedule, quote unquote. So today I managed to grab my good old buddy here, Jakato Extra, for this episode of Vtuber Gaming Talk. Can you present yourself, my dude?
Yeah, sure, no problemo. Hi, I am Jakato X, also known as Jakato or Jakato Extra. I'm a tokusatsu robot monkey VTubing mecha pilot hero who likes playing classic video games and talking about retro anime.
That's cool. Yeah, but you may be asking, with that part he just said, how is he fitting on the gaming show? Well, Jakato here has a pretty good history with video games, not just old ones. But I know him for a few stuff besides just the modding stuff we do for False ID. So for starters, I wanted to ask, do you have a favorite genre of games?
Probably beat 'em ups. Beat 'em ups is probably up there. Like I really like that. I grew up during the arcade era and stuff like Final Fight, Streets of Rage, the old Simpsons arcade game, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from Konami, back when they were doing some pretty good video games and stuff. Lots of stuff like that. Video like beat 'em ups and yeah, fighting games.
Cool.
Maybe kind of like blended in there together.
Beat 'em ups and fighting games. Yeah, that's cool. Do you have any specific games you could call your favorites? It's not necessary to be one. You can have more than one.
Well, like I mentioned, the Streets of Rage series, that's probably up there in my top favorites with that. Like, if we're going by the beat-em-up fighting game genre. Of course, I like games outside of that as well. I mean, there's a lot of good things I can mention, but we'd be here all day. I can mention stuff like Metal Gear or Valkyria Chronicles, or especially one of my favorites, Super Robot Wars, because if it involves robots at all, I am totally into it.
Cool. So you're basically a mech guy. You like everything that has
anything
a mech.
mecha.
Cool. That's cool. Well, yeah. Usually for this show, I like to involve some music stuff. Like, I usually like to ask my guests to bring some tunes for the stream, but Jakato here has a very busy schedule, so he couldn't make it. So I modified mine instead a little bit, so I can add some tunes I wanted to add a long time ago, and I forgot to add on the first place.
There you go.
But yeah.
Yeah, if I were to make it a playlist and stuff, you'd hear some stuff like I mentioned from Streets of Rage or maybe even Metal Gear, or some cool classic stuff.
Yeah, the usual. Well, but that's not usually a required thing. I just make it optional sometimes because, well, not everybody is.
Yeah, it's not that I didn't want to. It's just that
Yeah.
The day before we did this little interview, I had to do 2 streams in the same day.
Yeah. I saw that. Even we rated it after I finished with some stuff on Wolverine. Funny enough. But yeah. Speaking of which, do you have any online game you like to hop on every now and then for a stream or two, if you're alone or you want just to hop on an online play?
Yeah, for online stuff, major one would have to be Halo, in general, because there's a lot of Halos out there. Especially, there's a whole collection of just pretty much all the good classic main game Halos and stuff. That was a mainstay for the last couple of years since they brought it over to PC. The Halo Master Chief Collection, literally almost every single Halo game, Halos 1 through 4 with all the side games like ODST and Reach and stuff. Those are fun because there's a lot of different game types. You can do custom games, you can make your own maps. There's survival modes, there's arcade modes for it. It's pretty good.
That's cool. I mean, I'm not a big fan of first-person shooters, but I have my experience, and I have to say, when I have the opportunity to play like Halo for the first time, when with me and other friends tried a Project Cartographer mod for Halo 2, that was super fun. And when
Yeah,
Halo,
like the Halo modding scene is looking pretty good right now because they like officially before they had to do like some kind of like side stuff because it's all just fans doing modifications. But now like the actual company is giving them the real official mod tools, so they've been doing some pretty good stuff. Like I'm not much of an FPS guy myself, but if I had to make an exception to saying I'm not an FPS guy, Halo would be the one that would do it because like I said, I'm really big into like sci-fi and stuff, and Halo's got a actually a pretty interesting story.
yeah, I have to say, when Halo Infinite announced that the online will be free to play, I just wanted to hop in because I had fun with the Project Cartographer, like I just mentioned, and I wanted to try out like a proper Halo experience. And I have to say, I'm not disappointed. That shit was fun from day one.
Oh yeah, it's still good. I mean, there's definitely improvements that they're working on, but like in general, the Halo like series as like a whole, it really is pretty good online. It actually helped online gaming a lot. Like not to go into like too much video game history because I kind of see myself as a little bit of a video game historian and everything, but it really did help console online gaming, especially with like Halo 2, because it pretty much put Xbox Live on the map, which made a precedent for like online gaming subscriptions like Xbox Live or PlayStation Plus or like like even the Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah, I mean, I like video game history, me too, so I can see that being the start from this subscription type of online for consoles, like not just Xbox Live, PSN, and Switch. Sometimes I think it's a model that some free to play, some online games use, like World of Warcraft, for example.
Like World of Warcraft is another one that helped like put the general video game online subscription. Though when it comes to like console specific, like that was like new at the time when they put it onto like Halo 2. Like there wasn't really anything that they had for console online subscriptions at the time for like, hey, if you hop on here, you get all these online perks and you can play with your friends online. No dial-up, no like specific lobby things. The things can be randomized. You can play with everybody around the world. You don't have to go by like the person hosting the lobby's rules all the time. We actually have playlists, like stuff like that, because there really wasn't anything like they had before that, really.
True. Yeah. I mean, and before that we had just the classic PS2, PS1, Xbox original. That they had online, but they managed like if
They had like their online was basically, hey, there's a guy hosting a game here. I'll join in on that. It's on their whim whose team I'm on or what rules we're doing.
an only cable connection, like only LAN, no Wi-Fi. PS2
Exactly.
cannot handle Wi-Fi. Cannot,
Yeah,
it
no
barely
Wi-Fi.
handles.
You got your dial-up modem plugged in.
Oh god, that internet was slow as
That was
shit.
the thing because you trying to play dial-up on like PS2 until later they like when LAN became standard. That was a real interesting time.
Oh, that hurts a lot.
You had to put your PS2 online disc, save that to your memory card, connect up to your dial-up, and that was only after you got like another hard drive into the system. And then later on, they re-released the PS2 as a Slim, and it's like, yeah, we just put the Slim with the LAN, and that's a little bit like after the Xbox made it kind of like a standard.
Yeah, fuck. That hurts.
Yeah, that was a whole thing.
Yeah, internet on that era is just no for consoles. Not at all. And nowadays we have
That
like
was still PC precedent for online mostly.
yeah, and nowadays we have consoles that come with easily just one of the best Wi-Fi receptors ever made at this point.
Real.
But yeah, well, another topic I wanted to try out is crossplay. Do you know a game you like to like play that has crossplay nowadays?
There's a lot of good games out there with like crossplay that pop up this time. Oh, yeah, I know, I know a really good one. That's pretty underrated by some folks because they don't know all the details about it. But Super Bomberman R Online has full-on crossplay between like majority of its like consoles and even PC. And most folks are like saying, but wait, that's a battle royale game. You gotta be playing with all these randos. You can't guarantee playing with friends. No, like, you can actually play private lobbies and with the free-to-play players. The only caveat is at least one player needs to have the paid DLC, which is like roughly $10. It's not that bad. And then once they had the DLC, they could actually just like host it, which is pretty good. They can host the lobbies.
Oh,
and players from Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, and PC, they can get on there. You're going through dimensions.
Yeah, kinda. It's like, it's just my tracking.
Okay, I switch between the 2D and 3D all the time.
My tracking just decided to die.
Yeah, I had that happen sometimes too. That happens. Sometimes my webcam just gets like nudged and it's like, oh, I was unplugged for a second. I don't remember anything.
I think there we go. Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
I don't know what the hell happened there, but whatever. Yeah, I mean...
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Nowadays, I think it's hard to find online games that have crossplay like properly implemented. Like, for example, let's say Dead by Daylight, for example. I usually bring up that game a lot lately. I don't know why, but
that's a very good example of it.
Yeah, that game has crossplay with literally every platform there is, like Xbox, both Series X and Xbox One, PS4, PS5, Switch, and PC, all of them. But the only difference is that they have also a mobile version, which is a completely different game compared to the PC one, which is funny because they released the mobile version then the crossplay. But still, if you want like a good time with friends and you don't have like a PC to play it but you still have it on console, that's a grab. Like with friends, that's
pretty
fun.
solid.
Yeah. Also,
I got the Dead by Daylight, at least the first one. I want to get the second one, but it's just a lot of video games coming out.
Yeah. No, wait. Are we? No. Hold on. I'm talking Dead by Daylight, the survival against the assassin, against the killer type of game, not Dying Light.
Oh, well, it's morning. I'm not a morning person.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
I had to think about that for a minute. Wait, Dead by Daylight, or wait, are we talking about Dying Light? Wait a second.
No. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Dying Light has some stuff with that there too. I think that, like, at least between like.
I think he has leaderboards. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got like some crossplay in there. They both have some crossplay involving.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that.
So I had to think about that for like, wait, Dead by Daylight or Dying Light? Wait, nope, that's Dead by Daylight. Yeah. I gotcha.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Sorry, the morning hours. Then I gotta wake up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting it's like way earlier, and you were streaming for a long time yesterday.
Yeah, no, two streams. So it's like.
Yeah, it's taxing.
You probably gotta get a power nap later today.
Oh yeah. I might probably don't see you later, but still, because that power nap can take a long time. But
good.
Yeah. What else? Also, yeah, you're noticing like I'm wearing like a superhero type of uniform here. Well, I wanted to match up with Jakato here. That's a thing I wanted to do like on every episode if possible. Try to match up my guests in theme. I know the scenario in general is not like that at all, but still, I'm looking like like space goes from coast to coast at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, speaking of superheroes, do you know any superhero games that would you recommend, like to play in? Don't necessarily to be new. Like it can be retro too.
there's some good ones out there, depending on what you're looking for. If you're if folks are able to, one of the top ones, if you haven't already played it, the PlayStation Spider-Man. That's like #1 right now, I'd say, as like a good recommendation, either like for like watching, playing, like the PlayStation Spider-Man is very solid.
Cool. Right.
Like that's a good game. The sequel for that is coming out soon. They even did a thing with like Miles Morales on it, like
yeah,
as like its own separate mini standalone game, which is really good too. We're going like a little bit more classic, or like still also kind of a little bit newer because they just recently got like a third game, Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Oh,
That's also solid.
yeah.
Like the Marvel Ultimate Alliance series, like that's even going further back even more. Like if you count the X-Men Legends, like it's kind of like if you ever seen Dota, like Marvel superhero Dota a bit.
Oh yeah, Marvel Ultimate Alliance is that you pick 4 heroes to have on a team, and then you like complete a mission depending on the objective and all of that. I remember that. Yeah.
And you can play with like up to 4 friends too, so that's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's cool. Wow.
You had to switch between like different heroes. It's like it's a very solid thing as well. Like if we're going into the fighting games, like again, like I'm going on a Marvel kick here. I'm like when it comes to like heroes and stuff, I like them all. I like Marvel. I like DC. I like indies like Image or Dark Horse. Like they're all solid, but the different Marvel games, they have like a lot of different stuff out there. If we go back to like fighting games, it all starts with like X-Men versus like Street Fighter. Like they had their own individual Marvel fighting games, X-Men Children of the Atom and Marvel Superheroes. But then what really got people's attention was that you had something like Crazy at the time. You just go walking into the arcades and you see an arcade machine saying X-Men versus Street Fighter, and it's like, what the heck is this?
Okay.
Like why would the X-Men ever fight Street Fighters?
Looks like my tracking is dying. Just give me a sec. I'm going to grab the emergency PNG for this one because
dying in the light.
Yeah, basically, I'm dying in the morning, which is
dying in the morning light.
Yeah, and I don't have my backup PNG for this situation, which is awful. Hold on. Is there any updates? Because VC Face is the thing that is dying to me at this point.
Yeah, no, I had that the other day when I was just doing stuff on my own. Like it was like VC Face. Like, what are you doing, VC Face? I'm right here. Track me. Could just be a thing. Here's the part where like pull up like a title card, like we're experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Let's give it one more try, just in case. I don't want to
I can't do technical music, but it's hard to onomatopoeia.
Don't worry. Oh, come on. Hold on.
We had it for a minute there.
I have it more like for less than a minute, but still, my lips still moving though.
Yeah, I mean it's getting you for a second. Do you have a built-in tracking, or do you got a webcam?
It's a webcam. It's a webcam. Okay. I don't know why it's dying now though. But whatever. I try it again later. Maybe restarting the PC.
You can always unplug and plug it back in. That's always a good, fun trick. A lot of people forget about that when it comes to technical stuff. A lot of time, because I moderate for like a couple of folks, and it's like, I can't get this thing working. Like, did you try unplugging it or plugging it back in, or did you try turning it off and on again?
Yeah, I need to try that later.
One simple trick. Doctors hate them.
I might need to re-download PC Face for this, but whatever. Hold on. Just
I don't know if it got any updates recently or anything.
No, it doesn't. If it has, then well,
it'd be like a separate thing.
Yeah.
Just talking in general.
Hold on. No need for that. I have the PNG just where I need it. hold on. Uh,
Browser.
there. Okay.
Aha, there you go.
Now, can finally be sure about something here. What the hell happened there, but whatever. Sorry. I really wanted to keep the superhero thing in here, but I forgot to, like...
There's only one superhero allowed, and that's it.
Oh, damn it. I usually...
Like, the dimension was trying to correct itself.
Yeah, I mean, I usually...
I kid.
Yes. I usually try to get, like, the PNG for my costume beforehand, but yesterday I just forgot about that, because...
I mean, if you really want to, you can just, like, pull up, like, a pair of, like, Gurren Lagann glasses and just put it, like, right on top of there. Like, there you go.
I
You're
could
a superhero.
Yeah, but... And we are in the middle of a show. I don't want it to stop it. Let's just roll around.
Don't worry about it.
We have it on the thumbnail. Don't worry.
Don't worry. I'm used to running with the scuff. That's why I literally have scuff news and scuff talk. Yeah,
well, whatever.
Although mine's more on a deliberate end for the most part, but it happens.
Yeah, hope the tracking don't die on YouTube, because that just sucks. I need to, like, check my camera after this. I hope it doesn't, like, it's not nothing too, well, too grave or something, but whatever. Keeping up. What kind of retro game have you been playing lately, besides the Star Wars one?
I mean, Star Wars one is a little bit, like, more recent, because that one just, like...
Yeah, I know.
Released. It's the latest in the Lego Star Wars series. But, like, when it comes to, like, retro, like, literally the other day, I was just playing, like, a bajillion different retro games. Because, like, I had to take off from streaming for a hot while. I'm like, hey, I'm back on streaming. Let's play a bunch of retro games, because I wasn't able to stream for a while. So I was playing a lot of, like, Sega Genesis and arcade titles. So stuff like Sonic the Hedgehog, especially because the new movie Sonic 2 was releasing. I was playing Knuckles the Echidna in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which back in the day you had to get, like, the Sonic and Knuckles cart and the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 cart, and then jam that, like, right on top because there was a port there, and then you play that. Then other stuff I was doing too was like Streets of Rage. I did classic Street Fighter 2. There was like some cool beat 'em up stuff that I was talking about, like Captain Commando. It was Capcom's old mascot. If we're talking in general, like, games, again, like, I was doing some stuff with Streets of Rage, but I've been checking out some more of the arcade stuff. I've been messing around with my Neo Geo Arcade Stick Pro, which has games built into it. It's an arcade stick and has classic arcade games built into it.
Oh,
which has been fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's got like a Switch. It's legit its own console and also an arcade stick that's customizable. I've been messing around with it because I've been swapping out some of the parts to make it more customized.
Oh.
That's been fun.
Well, that's cool. I didn't know, like, SNK had one of those similar to the Capcom arcade stick, which also does the same, but it comes with two sets.
It is kind of similar, but it is a lot more cheaper because it's just a one set of the arcade stick, but it can, like, also interact with another one. Like, if you know somebody else who has one, you can plug that together. There's also, like, USB drives you can have so it connect to other arcade sticks, but unlike that as well, you can actually just plug in controllers to the system, too. So it's like, hey, it's running off the arcade stick, but if people prefer, you know, like, controller or some other controlling peripheral, there's USB ports, so you can plug it into the arcade stick. So you're not just limited to the Capcom one. The Capcom one, has some pretty good games on it, but it's kind of awkward sometimes. Like, I'm the only one playing, but there's another stick attached here. I can't separate them. And you got to do it on like a table, while the other one is like more casual, like an actual arcade stick they could put on like your lap or something. Because like you go to like tournaments or something, or you can treat it like an actual arcade stick, as opposed to the other one where it's like, no, this is specifically for table. It's got that weird Capcom shape of an arcade stick, and you can't separate it. It's got some good stuff on it, but if you had to do one for like actual like arcade sticking for like multi-platform, like because you can connect it to your PC, and you can also like through other cables and stuff, you can connect it to Switch and PlayStation. Yeah, no, the Neo Geo Arcade Stick Pro is very solid. You can even, like I said, they made it customizable enough where you can swap out the parts.
That's so cool. I mean, I'm not keeping up that much with SNK merch. I mean, I think that counts like part merch, part his own console. But
yeah, it's like a mix between the two. It's like part merch, part console, part hardware.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's kind of up there with their Neo Geo Mini, which is also compatible with the arcade stick. Funny enough.
Yeah, wait.
Like they made a mini arcade machine thing that you could buy with like different games on it.
Oh, wasn't that the thing Sakurai showed on the Terry introduction video? Well, stream in the case.
Yeah, it might have been running on that. I gotta double check it again, but yeah, that had video output, and you can also plug in controllers and stuff, and is compatible with the Arcade Stick Pro, which is pretty good. It's got like a mini screen and stuff, so it's like a little mini arcade. A lot of game companies that used to be in the arcade scene have been releasing like mini arcade machines as of late. Like Sega just released not too long ago the Astro City Mini, which has stuff like Virtua Fighter and Golden Axe and other Sega arcade games, where it's like, hey, we got like a micro switch stick on here, like almost 5-inch screen, and can play stuff. Same with other game companies like Taito, who are behind like Space Invaders or Bubble Bobble. Like they have their own little mini arcade machine, so you can make it like a little mini arcade, and it just all runs on like USB power, which is pretty fun.
That's cool. I mean, yeah, well, there is, like, aside of those, no way to play those old arcade games, is it?
Some of them, officially? No, this is, like, the official way how to do it, because some of those arcade games, it's, like, exclusively available now. Like, there was a, what was it? Golden Axe, Death Adder. Like, that was, like, a sequel to, like, Golden Axe. That was, like, arcade exclusive that is now available on home thanks to, the system releasing the little mini arcade system, which is pretty cool. Yeah, like even the Taito, the Egret model, like that has some stuff where it's like, hey, this is the first time you can finally buy this game on a home console market.
Which
is crazy to think about, because those games are like, some of them are like 20 years old or above that, but it's like, nah, there just wasn't any compilation or like any way to put this on the home console market before.
Okay. I mean, pretty crazy. It's pretty cool that some of those companies are thinking of their old titles and unique ways to rebuy them. But
it's making me also like very anticipating for some good compilations coming out soon. There's like some good video game compilations coming out, like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collection, like 13 games of Ninja Turtles stuff, including the arcade Ninja Turtles games, which is pretty solid, and the Capcom fighting game collection, following up the Capcom beat 'em up bundle.
Yeah,
like very solid on the obscure Capcom games, because Capcom, they got like a lot of crazy arcade games, and it's good that they're making these collections for them.
Oh yeah. Also, besides those two, do you know any other collections that are coming out? Because I might miss them because of those two. And the Ninja Turtles one doesn't have like two fighting tournament like games.
Oh, it has. Okay. So Ninja Turtles has a fighting game, But that's where things get complicated because there was a version on Super Nintendo, there was a version on Genesis, there was a version on the Game Boy. The collection has every single version of the fighting game, which has its own unique fighters and mechanics to it. So they're all called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Tournament Fighters, but they're all their own unique game.
Oh,
which is
God.
Crazy, yeah. Yeah.
What the hell?
They finally made it so you can have it all together. I wish there was like a version of the game. I'm pretty sure like somebody can, I don't know, do this through some crazy modifications at the time. But it's cool to finally have it like all as like one package together. But I'm sure somebody can figure out like, hey, I put all the exclusive fighters into one game at some point.
Yeah.
Because there are some pretty dedicated fans out there. It's like, hey, I modified this game over here using the original code, and we brought it together so you can finally have this guy fight this guy, which you weren't able to do. Which funny enough, happened not too long ago during like the tail end of the 360 PS3 era. They finally had it so they had a version of Soul Calibur 2 where you could finally have Heihachi fight Spawn. Because back when Soul Calibur 2 released, it was like a thing like, hey, depending on what platform you get it on, you got an exclusive character. If you play it on GameCube, you got Link. You play it on PlayStation, you got Heihachi from Tekken. And if you play it on Xbox, you got Spawn.
Which is fun.
I wish there was a Wii U port at that time, because at the time that was Nintendo's console. So that way you could have had Link, Heihachi, and Spawn in the same game. But I don't know, maybe Bandai Namco, go re-release it again. Put it on the Switch.
And still, the only weird thing about Soul Calibur 2 is the fact that why the fuck is Spawn an exclusive for them? Like, isn't like a DC character copyrighted by them? How?
Spawn's actually indie. He's indie.
Oh wait, what?
Yeah, Spawn's an indie character. He's by Todd McFarlane from Image. Like, he used to do a lot of Spider-Man comics, but then him and a bunch of other indie guys, they found Image Comics, which are behind stuff like Invincible and The Walking Dead and some other cool stuff. Savage Dragon.
That explains the relationship between Bandai Namco and those guys. Okay. That explains the crossover from The Walking Dead to Tekken. That explains it.
Yeah, they're indies.
Cool. That's weird.
Which is pretty cool, because like later Spawn showed up in Mortal Kombat 11, and he has some dialogue with Scorpion talking about crossover stuff. So like Scorpion's like, I've seen many injustices across dimensions, and then like Spawn's like, yet my soul still burns.
Oh yeah. Well, they don't do that. They don't do the same.
Last time he showed up in a fighting game.
Yeah, man. I wish he was included on the next Injustice, but now that you've mentioned that that Spawn is technically an indie character, yeah, I don't see that coming up.
I mean, they had a couple different things for that, like Injustice 2, like Ninja Turtles, like they had like all 4 Ninja Turtles playable technically with their different movesets. Hellboy, another indie, but that was Dark Horse Comics. Like he showed up in Injustice 2 as well, so that's pretty cool. So I'm expecting some other guest characters to show up in Injustice at some point. Like obviously you're gonna get like a Mortal Kombat character, because like Injustice 2 they already had like Sub-Zero and Raiden.
Yeah.
So other than Mortal Kombat guys popping up, I'm pretty sure they'll have some other guests popping up next time they do another Injustice game.
Yeah, let's hope so. Besides, if it's Injustice 3, we might have 3 Mortal Kombat characters if you follow the pattern.
Oh yeah, the first one being Scorpion, the second one being Sub-Zero and Raiden, third one, maybe 3 of them.
Yeah, maybe they add like, I don't know, Kenshi, Jackson, who knows the third one who could be. Because
I could half imagine like somebody like Goro or something,
They have to be recognizable faces from Mortal Kombat. Like, they use first one Scorpion, which is basically the mascot for the franchise.
He's the poster boy of Mortal Kombat, yeah.
Then
and the second one, like Sub-Zero, like he's also there, like Sub-Zero being the other guy, and Raiden also being pretty iconic.
Yeah, Raiden is technically iconic too. Then they have to go with Johnny Cage, maybe.
I was about to say Johnny Cage would probably be like the next like character, if we're going by like notable Mortal Kombat characters, he'd have to be in there somewhere.
Yeah,
as one of the three.
Johnny Cage, Liu Kang, and maybe I don't know who could be the next one. Goro, maybe.
I'm thinking like if you need like a villain in there because they haven't really done like a villain Mortal Kombat character. Goro is pretty iconic. He's got like the 4 arms going for him, and then you got Johnny Cage in there. You got Johnny Cage versus Goro again, like the Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah, they can do the reference there too. Or they also can add Shang Tsung or Shao Kahn, which are... I think Shao Kahn is even more, like, iconic than Goro sometimes. Depending on the view.
Yeah, depending on when you got into the series. Like, it depends. But, I mean, they're still pretty up there as, like, iconic Mortal Kombat villains, I'd say.
Yeah, true. Also, I think... Hold on. I forgot to do one thing here.
Yeah.
It's technically important because I forgot to put your links on the notification. Hold on.
It's cool. Just talking the video games.
Yeah. One thing though, I forgot to ask. When did you start like streaming video games in general?
In general? Well, I mean, technically, I've been doing internet stuff for like over a decade. I did do some Twitch things before I became a more consistent Twitch streamer. Like, I was like, hey, I did like 1 or 2 streams, but then I became more of an actual consistent Twitch streamer when I started doing more stuff involving like speed runs and whatnot. But for actual like streaming, like that was a little bit like I did streaming and then later on evolved into a VTuber. I think I'm getting close to my 4th anniversary this year.
Ooh.
As a more consistent Twitch streamer in general. Like, and also being affiliated.
Wow. Yeah, I keep forgetting you're affiliated. Like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got the emotes and the animated emotes.
And you have the ability to get subscription. That's cool. Like, that's the thing I hope to get someday. Like, maybe later on my career I can do that. But yeah.
Also, just realized something too. This is gonna maybe pop up for a second. I'm surprised that like I could have sworn I was already following you on Twitch, but like Twitch is like, nah, you're not. And like, why not? Here
yeah, let's go. I just finished the...
There you go.
There we go. Yeah, most people, I don't like to ask for this, but when most people don't know if they follow me or not. Most people don't, because
like, I was 100% sure I was, because I was pretty sure I was following like everybody like on the false mod team, and I'm like, oh wait a minute, like how did that not happen?
Midori say the same. Trust me. I have to remind him.
I was pretty sure I was, but then it's like, no, you weren't. Like, oh, weird. That actually happens a couple times with me with like other like VTubers. Like, I thought I was following you. I've been on your channel multiple times already.
Do you?
Like, no. Like in general, this happened before with like other VTubers or friends. Like, yeah. I've been on your stream multiple times. How am I not following? I've been on here for like half a year. What?
Yeah, true.
I've been chatting and talking, and it's like I could have sworn I already was following.
Yeah, it happens. But
there you go. You got your 20.
Yeah, now I need to get like I don't know if I needed 20 or I needed like I don't know. I need to check the affiliate goal.
Check it again. It's been a hot minute since I last checked.
Speaking of checking, if you're watching the stream right now, just do !TG to see the socials for today's guest.
Hey.
With this, at least I'm showing like your Twitter and your Twitch. I don't know why it doesn't separate.
That's weird. I think they're making it into like one whole thing.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just grab again stream elements.
If I was on mod mode right now, I'd be doing some stuff because I usually deal with bots on channels. Channel bots.
Oh.
The good kind.
Yeah. I have the mod my 2 last guesses just in case, but I will not mind to... Hold on.
That's the thing. Like, you got your Nightbots, your Streamlabs, your Stream Elements.
I have my Stream Elements,
lot
but
of stuff.
I might need to like get another one. Ah, there we go. Separate.
Hey.
I don't need to use Shift
Hey.
Enter. I don't. Okay. Ah, now we're golden. Moving on to the next topic. Hey. Hello.
Hey.
We have a lurker. Let's go.
Lurking.
Okay. So, what I was about to say? Oh yeah.
Talking video games.
Do you know like any beat 'em ups you would recommend aside of Street of Rage? Like, I would love to talk about that.
Are we going like how obscure we're talking? I can go mainstream or like I never even heard of this game. I didn't know this was a thing.
Bring some obscure ones because I already
Okay.
recommend with all my heart to try Yakuza. So, and Street of Rage,
like
and
a modern beat 'em up, yeah.
yeah. I already recommend like modern beat 'em ups like Yakuza or old games like Street of Rage. Maybe some Final Fight if you're feeling like you wanna rage a little bit.
And Final Fight's pretty good.
Yeah, but give me some obscure ones if you have, please.
Okay. Well, I was playing the Capcom beat 'em up bundle the other day, where I was doing some stuff from Cat to Commando. Like that's a good one. It's actually the same timeline as Final Fight, but like in the distant future of 2026.
Oh, yeah.
Like we're gonna get cyborgs and go into space, totally.
Oh god.
Because at
damn
the
it.
time, Final Fight was like, released like late 80s, early 90s, that kind of stuff. Like, oh yeah, no, we'll totally get there by 2026. Have cyborgs and stuff, totally.
Yeah,
But
sure.
Captain Commando. He was the old Capcom mascot before like Mega Man kind of took it over, and then I suppose Ryu is now the current mascot.
Yeah.
Without things shifted around, but yeah, that's a good one. Other stuff I like, Capcom. Also in the beat 'em up collection, Armored Warriors. Because you know me, I like giant robots and stuff. That is a giant robot beat 'em up where you can actually swap up the parts of the robot for different abilities, which is pretty cool.
Ooh.
The main robot in that game is Bloodia, who's also the same giant robot for Jin Satome from
Cyberbots.
the fighting game Cyberbots. Yeah, Cyberbots, who
Ooh,
also shows
yeah.
up in Marvel vs. Capcom. Like the same Bloodia robot is in there.
Oh, that's cool.
Shows up in another Capcom game involving robots and fighting, Tech Romancer for the Dreamcast. So, yeah, no, that is a good one. If you're looking for like a kind of a unique beat 'em up mechanic, with the whole part swapping stuff with the giant robots, then yeah, Armored Warriors is a solid one. If we're going into like, again, even more obscure, not on the collection, because you mentioned it, the Capcom arcade stick, because that actually had the game on there. There was an Alien vs. Predator game made by Capcom.
Yeah, that's on the arcade
That was a
stick
beat 'em
too.
up. Yeah, that was on the Capcom arcade stick. It was one of the only other releases other than the actual arcade where it's like, hey, if you want to get it on a home release exclusive to the arcade stick we have here, because that's a whole licensing findangling you got to do, because like I think technically Disney owns that now because they bought out Fox
Oh,
or
yeah.
Alien,
Yeah, they
like
own.
Predator and
They own,
stuff. So
they own everything at this point.
yeah. So the Alien vs. Predator game beat 'em up, that is actually pretty good too. Like there's even crazier stuff like when it comes to like beat 'em ups. There was like if we're talking about even crazier than that, there's a game called Dinosaurs and Cadillacs, which actually had a cartoon adaptation at some point, where it's exactly that. They're fighting dinosaurs and they're driving around in Cadillacs. It's crazy.
What the heck?
It's an actual thing. You can look it up. Like Dinosaurs and Cadillacs. You think I might be making it up, but no, it's a real thing.
Coming from video games, I believe it. Don't worry. Fucking Cadillacs.
Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. It's an arcade game, and then I think, was it Capcom that also worked on that too? Yeah, no, it was Capcom. It was Capcom.
Yeah, it was Capcom. Yeah. What the hell?
Capcom's got a penchant for messing around with dinosaurs because, like, You had their own dinosaur variant of Resident Evil called Dino Crisis back in the day.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. We might need to talk about it. Do you think that new, I think it's called Exoprimal, has to do with it? Like, has some relation?
There's no way that was not originally a Dino Crisis game. Because, like, it's using the RE engine.
Mm-hmm.
There's a character who looks almost exactly like the protagonist of Dino Crisis. And it's a Capcom game involving dinosaurs.
And mechs.
True. Like, there's no way that wasn't originally supposed to be a Dino Crisis game. Like, it could have been like a thing, like similar to like, if you didn't know, Devil May Cry was originally supposed to be Resident Evil 4.
Yeah,
before becoming its own title.
Yeah, I know.
So, it might be a similar situation to that, where it's like, we were going to make a Dino Crisis game, but then we ended up making something else completely different.
Just in case. Because if you think about it, it's way too different.
It is way too different. But I can see, like, hey, we were going to make a Dino Crisis game, but things happened. New game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, Bloody Karma says here, fight in tight spaces, turn-based beat 'em up. How does that work? I mean, yeah, you can have a turn-based game, but how makes...
There's actually some pretty unique turn-based games out there. Like, you might think that turn-based is, like, always, like, you go, then I go, then you go, then I go. But there are a lot of different games out there that, like, mix up turn-based genres. Like, you have real-time... combination between real-time and turn-based. There's a lot of different things. Like one of my favorite games of all time is by Sega, called Valkyria Chronicles, which somehow mixes third-person real-time action and turn-based strategy. Like, it was able to combine both genres. You haven't seen the game in action, but it's like, okay, so you have a map, you have your territories, you can walk around on it, you're fighting the enemy. You both have, like, guns and stuff, but, like, you pick the character that you want to move, and you have, like, a certain amount of movement space that can go around, and you're trying to walk around the map, you're getting shot at, but then when you attack, that's your attack, so it's, like, still turn-based, but also third-person shooting. It's pretty unique. You get a chance to check it out. It's often on sale. I'd recommend it. Valkyria Chronicles and Valkyria Chronicles 4. Both connected.
Well, if it's from Sega, I'm probably picking up, because if you think about it, Sega is pulling up really good stuff.
Oh yeah, no, Sega's been doing some good stuff lately. Like, again, Valkyria Chronicles 4, like, that just released not too long ago. Like, that one's very good.
I love when Sega does that.
It's a good series. Like I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but there's another Sega property called Skies of Arcadia.
Yeah. Oh shit!
Sega.
I need to play that. I really want to play that.
Okay, good. Because technically, same universe as Valkyria Chronicles.
Oh, dude.
It's the same universe, because the characters from Skies of Arcadia pop up in Valkyria Chronicles 1 as playable characters.
Oh, let's go.
Like, it's technically connected.
I need to grab that for the Dreamcast. If I'm not mistaken, Skies of Arcadia doesn't have a re-release, does it?
Actually, it was originally on Dreamcast, but it had a GameCube re-release too, as well. Yeah, with
cool.
like some updated stuff to it. They really needed to re-release that game at some point, either like HD or remake it or something. But it's like the same universe and stuff. So Valkyria Chronicles, like the first one, and even like 4 these days, they often go on sale for like $5 to like $8 to $15, depending if you're getting like complete collections with DLC or both games included. Like recently, they had like a March sale. You could have picked up like Valkyria Chronicles 1 and 4 together at the same time for like, with all the DLC included, for like $15, and that's a very solid deal. So you might be wondering, wait, why did I play 1 and 4? What about 2 and 3? 2 and 3 were PSP games, but with the timeline going, 1 and 4 are more thematically intertwined, because they take place during the same war, because there's a war going on in the game,
right.
But they take place during the same time, like the exact same time frame, but in different countries during the same war.
Oh, are we talking like chronologically speaking? They are in the same
Chronologically
time.
speaking, they're happening at the exact same time,
Oh,
just like other part of the continent.
cool.
So like a major event is happening in one of the games, and they reference to, hey, this just happened in like the other game.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's like the first game, Valkyria Chronicles 1, that was originally like a PS3 title, but then they ported it into like, PS4 and then like Xbox and PC and other platforms, and eventually onto Switch and the newer platforms and whatnot. They keep on upporting that one, and it still holds up to this day. It's still very solid. Again, one of my favorite games of all time, the first one. Like they often mention like a battle that happened, and that was like a major plot point, but you didn't actually see that battle because that happened somewhere else in the world. In Valkyria Chronicles 4, you actually get to play that battle.
Wow.
So it was like a offhand thing mentioned that kind of changed the current events in the first game. Actually playing that out in the fourth game, and vice versa, where it's like, hey, the Allied forces were able to take this place during this battle, and then like I know that battle that happened in the first game.
Wow, that sounds cool.
Like the continuity, like between it's like it's crazy. Like I've seen playthroughs of people where like they got the timeline. Like, all right, I'm gonna play the game chronologically. So like I'm gonna switch between Valkyria Chronicles 1 and then switch over to 4, and then back and forth. It was like I've seen people do that, and it's like, whoa, that's
too
crazy
much.
stuff doing, man.
That's too much. Like, yeah, take your time. Play the first, play the fourth, then you go for the others. That's it.
Like, another thing, too, it even goes even crazier because, like I said, 2 and 3, they're on the PSP, but, like, they take place in, like, different times and stuff. Like, 2 takes place after that war I was talking about. Like, that's, like a couple of years after the main war that happens in, like, 1 and 4. But 3 also takes place during that war. Like, that one is, like, also intertwined. So, if you consider it, 1, 3, and 4 are all happening simultaneously at the same time, just, like, in completely different countries or locations.
Oh, wow.
So it's, like, some crazy bobbing and weaving, like, trying to get the whole timeline together. But they still stand, they still stand on their own. Like, if you can only play, like, one of those games, you can still play it as it is, and it's still a very solid experience.
Wow.
Like, you don't have to do the big deep dive, but it's there if you want it.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I might try it out later. The first one, in which console is it? Like,
Valkyria Chronicles 1?
Yeah.
Literally almost everything for Valkyria Chronicles 1. I think 4 is also now, like, on everything. But, like, if we're talking about, because, like,
OG.
Valkyria Chronicles 1 was originally a PS3 game.
Oh.
That they eventually ported upwards towards PC, and then Xbox, like, all the Xbox ecosystem now, and then, like, PlayStation 4, like, and up. Like,
oh, so they keep it up, like they port it
Yeah.
to the newer consoles. That's cool.
Mhm.
That's cool.
and then eventually Valkyria Chronicles 4 happened, which was more recent, and that was also like, PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and they put that on the Switch, and because that did so well, they went back and brought Valkyria Chronicles 1 onto the Switch now. So,
Yeah, I get it.
like both Valkyria Chronicles 1 and 4, like, you can practically get them on, like, almost everything these days.
I should check that out maybe later. Changing the topic, did you know Yakuza, right?
Yeah.
Did you play Yakuza 8 by any means?
Oh, yeah, no, legit. Like, Yakuza is, like, one of my favorite series as well. Like, a lot of stuff, like, if we're talking Sega games, I am very well deeped into Sega games because back during the original console wars, I was a Sega kid, actually.
Cool.
So, like, I am quite familiar with their catalog, and I still kept up with them when it became, like, a video game, like, publisher rather than, like, hardware maker and stuff. But, Yakuza, I actually started that, like, early in. Like, I had the original PS2 Yakuzas, and I just kept on playing since.
That's cool. I wanted to ask about Yakuza 8 in specific because I was planning to make a video, like, make a roster type of video. When I analyzed most of the series trying to find good candidates for, well, the roster of the game in general. But I stopped like dry on my way because I needed villains or bosses from the Yakuza 8, and I didn't play the game still. Which character do you think it's like good material for the game, for a fighting game? I'm taking note of course the article with the original creator of Yakuza saying he don't want Kiryu nor Majima or I'm thinking not even Ichiban to hit a woman. So my solution to that is making a fighting game full of the enemies of Yakuza, which usually are just men or other members of other clans. So yeah, that's my point here. Did you know?
There's a lot of ways that you can go about it, because like it also depends too. Because like if we're going for like an all-stars route, that means they can go there even if like because like not to go into spoilers for people playing games and stuff, but characters do end up dying.
Yeah, I know, but this situation is kind of like a no story, full fan service type of game, like JoJo's All-Star Battle or something like that.
Right. Okay. So yeah, you got some options here, like a good one, like very early, also close to Kiryu. Like if we're going for like Yakuza villains, I mean you got like his brother with his original group, kind of like Nitsuki.
Yeah, no. I'm talking about Yakuza 8 in specific because I already have the roster for the 90% of it, because I grabbed a lot of recognizable faces from all the Yakuza games previous to the 0 to the 8. Kinda everyone on the.
Yeah, wait, I talk about Yakuza 7 or like
Yakuza like a dragon. Yakuza.
Yeah, that's 7.
I thought it was 8.
No, that's 7 because Yakuza 6 still had Kiryu.
Yeah, now I remember the.
Because I was like were you saying Yakuza A? Because like Yakuza A is actually like a separate thing entirely. Like I thought you were saying A. Like no, there is no 8 yet.
Yeah, no.
The Yakuza series.
I'm very confused.
I mean, technically there is if we're going by numerical, because I mean, you got like some weird spin-offs in it. Like you got the Fist of the North Star Yakuza game.
You have
and,
Yakuza
like,
Ishin.
The ones that are in like in ancient Japan. Like that's
Ishin. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you also have stuff like Yakuza Dead Souls, and it's like, oh man, there's a lot of Yakuza games out there.
See, for those games is what I want to make a fighting game, because you can make like skins out of those games. Imagine a Ryuji Goda with the metal arm from Dead Souls in a fighting game. That would be so cool. Yeah, well...
That'd be pretty cool.
Discussing a little bit further the roster in general, I was planning like adding recognizable faces from every Yakuza game there is. Of course, all the heroes, quote-unquote heroes from each side. Like, you have Kiryu from 0 and Kiryu from Yakuza 2 onwards, last separate characters because of the change of the combat. And the combat in general of the game will be basically the Yakuza OG combat. I don't think changing
Question:
that.
Have you thought about guest characters?
Yes. That could be.
There's a lot of options for that, especially
Just
talking Sega.
Yeah, just keeping in mind this has to be only males, just because of that.
No,
rule.
I understand that. I still think there's a lot that could be taken in
But
from there.
There is two specifically that will fit the bill for a guest character, and one that for sure needs to be here is the Shenmue protagonist.
I was about to say Ryo Hazuki.
Yeah,
he's like legit, like he's like from the 80s and stuff. He can be
like,
in there.
He's technically the father to Yakuza.
It's like the precursor. Yakuza was kind of like
based on that.
Even on the PS2, it was like a spiritual successor. In a sense.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
A lot of the Yakuza-isms actually started off in Shenmue before being part of synonymous with Yakuza.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he deserves to be like in a fighting game made out of Yakuza characters. He needs to be there, which is fine.
Yeah, no, he could totally be in there. I was about to say, like, if you didn't have Ryo in there, then like he has to be. Like, that's like a character that can totally be in there. What was the other one you were thinking?
Akira from Virtua Fighter.
Okay, that was the other one I was gonna say too. Akira Yuki, like he could just already go in there. I mean, they just recently remade
Virtua Fighter 5.
Virtual Fighter 5 in the Yakuza engine, so why not already use that?
I think they give Akira the Kiryu skin. Or it was the Ichiban one?
Yeah, he's got the Kiryu skin. Like, they had a collaboration crossover.
Yeah.
Costume set. Like, I actually streamed that, like, not too long ago. I showed it off on stream and stuff. And, like, hey, here's all the Yakuza tie-in stuff.
But, yeah, I mean, the thing is, I'm still puzzled.
I would also say there's, like, some other Virtual Fighter characters as well that could also be thrown in there. Like, we're talking... Like with Virtual Fighter, there's a few other options too.
Well, yeah,
to, like add it out a bit.
We can add more than one, but I don't want to blow it up the roster that much with crossover characters. Like those two are considered DLC at this point for me. Those will sell really well as DLC if you think about it.
If you try making a DLC, then yeah, no, that could totally work. I mean, in some cases, you might want to include it in the base game as well, just to like attract people from buying the game in general, you know?
Oh yeah.
But depending on what they make as DLC and some other stuff, that's why you have like the decisions. That's why like you have something like where you have Tekken 7, where Akuma wasn't DLC. He was just in the game by default, and it was actually part of the storyline, which was crazy.
Yeah, that doesn't fit at all. I mean, yeah, Akuma is technically a demon, has to do something with the Devil Gene, but that's a Street Fighter character. That doesn't belong on Tekken.
I think what they're going with that one is they're implying, because I'm not sure if you heard of Project Cross Zone, but or Project X Zone as some people know it, but it's implied that a lot of fighting game universes are actually just in the same universe. They're just happening like independently, but they're still happened in the same world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Akuma is in there as like an actual main character, implying that the events of Street Fighter happened in the Tekken world. They just don't talk about it.
What the? How? I mean, you have a laser coming out from space, and none of the Street Fighter characters knows about it. Not even the Interpol ones.
They might know about it, but like it's like, oh no, this other group has it taken care of. It's fine.
Mishima has too much money that he can buy the Interpol.
I mean, if we're talking about space lasers, because like they have a space laser in Tekken, but they also had a space laser in Street Fighter, so it's like I guess just everybody's got space lasers.
Yeah, Shadowloo and Mishima
Shadowloo's got space
same.
lasers too. Yeah.
But still, though, it's still a little bit too crazy to find like Akuma on Tekken as part of the story. I imagine that
he's part of the backstory now. He apparently knew the wife of Heihachi Mishima for some reason.
Taking into consideration this, technically there is 3 space lasers running around the Earth. The Nest Saga type of satellite.
True, yeah.
Because Geese is in there, like, what the hell?
I mean, Geese is in there, but like, depending on when we're talking about Geese, because like is it Fatal Fury Geese or is it King of Fighters Geese? Because like canonically, Fatal Fury, like King of Fighters is basically the Smash Brothers equivalent for SNK, where they combined all the stuff together. So the timelines don't actually match one-to-one with the games that they're based off of.
And I'm guessing
they have their own separate independent stuff, because technically Art of Fighting / Fatal Fury versions of the characters are different than the King of Fighters variants, because of like age differences. The other one's aged kind of like in real time, and the other ones are like they had different continuity, where it's like, oh yeah, this Terry knows Iori, but if you're talking about Fatal Fury, he doesn't.
Yeah, if we're talking about like timeline-wise, I think it's King of Fighters, but the thing is, yeah, Art of Fighting is technically a prequel to Fatal Fury, and that doesn't make any sense in King of Fighters timeline since they have the practically same age.
And like by that point, Ryo of King of Fighters would be like old, and you'd be Mr. Karate 2 at that point.
True. And well, going back to the Yakuza fighting game though, I'm still thinking Do you know any villains or any heroes that I can include as part of the base roster
I mean,
from Yakuza Like a Dragon?
some of the yeah, from Yakuza Like a Dragon. I mean, like, some of the base party members, like other than Ichiban, you got like Nanban, which is another character that you throw in there. Like, he has party members. Like, you even have like the cop detective man that's also helping him as well. So
Yeah, I need to like check out.
there's multiple
things.
characters. Like, you actually look at the roster list. He has party members because Like a Dragon is a
It's a
JRPG.
turn-based. Yeah.
Turn-based strategy, so you're not just playing as Ichiban. You can play as like other party members who might not have like certain scruples on doing some techniques and fighting stuff. So it'd be interesting to see him in fighting game style.
Now that I think about it, how one of the crossover characters that I can have like as a base roster character is the protagonist from Judgment. Now that I think about it, that is even in the same
Real.
universe.
Same universe.
Yeah, I can have it from the base roster here. But yeah, well, moving on to Tekken a little bit though. That is a weird crossover game at this point, if you think about it. Like Final Fantasy characters, King of Fighters
like,
characters.
If we go on the grand scale, you got like Tekken, and then technically, if you want to even go even further, Yoshimitsu is that odd character who's both a Tekken and Soul Calibur character. So just throw that in there.
Didn't Harada like confirm that they aren't the same Yoshimitsu? Like Soul Calibur Yoshimitsu and Tekken Yoshimitsu are different?
They're different, but they're the same universe. He's
Equivalent.
the descendant of the he's the descendant of Yoshimitsu from Soul Calibur.
What the hell?
So they're more or less the same character because like the movesets, like the exact moves you can. If you know the Tekken move, you can do it in Soul Calibur and vice versa.
Wow, that's
For
cool.
the most part,
Yeah.
like the moves are almost like 1-to-1, which is why I like playing Yoshimitsu. It's like I don't have to learn anything different for Tekken or Soul Calibur. It's like Yoshimitsu. He plays the same in both games.
That's well, yeah, true. That's cool.
Movesets like almost 1-to-1 almost every game.
Wow. And I'm here just trying to find a main that is consistent on one or more than one game, and I ended up.
Yeah, like I'm doing the big
hell?
brain play where it's like I am consistent with Yoshimitsu because he plays exactly the same in the Tekken games, and he plays the same in the Soul Calibur games,
It has
and they're
to
two
be.
different games, but like
Yeah.
it's the same thing. It carries over. So yeah, you got like Tekken, technically Soul Calibur. Then you got Akuma, who's like Street Fighter, Geese for Fatal Fury / King of Fighters, and then Noctis for Final Fantasy, and then you got Negan from The Walking Dead popping up out of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened there.
I don't know how that happened. It just happened.
Yeah,
like-
me neither.
It's even more so. It's not even like the comic book version or anything. It's like legit the Walking Dead actor from the TV series playing the character.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It's like the face model for Negan and the voice actor for Negan. It's
Yeah, the
both.
face, the model, and the mocap.
Yeah. He has everything, which
It's
makes
crazy
sense.
how that happened.
Yeah, it's crazy, but makes sense since at the time Negan was a really popular character on the show.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah. He's a very popular character on the show, but when I think of like things to pop up, I wouldn't be thinking of The Walking Dead to show up in like Tekken or anything.
Yeah.
And even if it did, I'd be expecting more of the comic book version to show up first than the the actual AMC actor.
Yeah, nah, I think it makes more sense since the most popular
Yeah,
and trending thing, it's usually the thing that will pop up first. That's why, for example, in Marvel's Capcom Infinite, you have redesign for Rocket and Hawkeye, for example. They are
Yeah.
based on the movie variants, compared to the original comic book variant they have on the Marvel's Capcom 3, because there, they didn't have even the movie yet, for what I know. The movie, the Avengers one.
For 3, no, I think they still had some of it, but like the Avengers movie wasn't out yet. But the other movies in the MCU, the ones setting it up for Phase 1, some of those were already out.
Yeah, that
Like Iron
explains.
Man and-
Yeah,
Like,
that explains
like
why Iron Man doesn't have like the OG type of comic book skin or anything on the game. Does it? I'm not remembering that correctly.
He had one of the more modern armors at the time, rather than like the original armors that he had in like the MVC games prior to MVC3. Because remind you, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, they originally had Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and then it was Ultimate Marvel Capcom 3.
Yeah.
Which was like people blowing their minds and stuff. Like, hey, I just bought Marvel vs. Capcom 3. What are you doing? Already releasing Ultimate like 6 months later.
Oh yeah, I forgot that happened like half a year later. Wow.
Yeah, no, it wasn't even like a year later. It was like half a year later. It was like,
hell?
dude, like, well, come on. I just got this one. Let it bake for a bit.
What the hell?
But
yeah.
granted, the Ultimate did introduce some cool characters like Phoenix Wright and some other cool stuff. So
yeah, that was cool. Yeah,
that was cool.
But still, though, what the?
It's a very short window. At least some of the other stuff when it comes to like, you know, different fighting game editions. They wait like a year or two or a couple of years for all the DLCs to release or something. But that was a very short window.
Yeah, way too short.
Same year.
Yeah, way too short. Like, at least Street Fighter Cross Tekken took a little bit more time before they got, like, the DLC characters with buff.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. And... there we go.
Bots.
Yep. Whatever. It's a small channel. It's a small channel, so get it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yep.
But yeah, no, it's funny you also mentioned like Street Fighter Cross Tekken and stuff, because like you play the PlayStation version of that, like that also has some weird crossover stuff, because you got like Bad Boxer Art Mega Man, you got Pac-Man, you got the PlayStation mascots if you're playing on PS3, the cat mascots.
Turo and Taro, I think are the names. Yeah.
And then even like Cole McGrath from Infamous showing up in that game.
That's weird. Like, usually they come in pairs. Like, you have Pac-Man and Mega Man, you have Turo and Taro, but he came alone.
Exclusive to the PlayStation version, too. It's like...
And I'm guessing Xbox didn't get shit.
No, they did not. I was expecting them to get like some kind of like exclusive Xbox character. They did not get anything. Neither did PC. So it's like, if you for some reason you want to play Tekken Cross Street Fighter, if you have a PS3 still, go get it on that one.
Yeah, which is funny because the PC version doesn't even have the DLC. Like, no Cody, no Guy, no Dudley, no Elena.
If they really wanted to re-release it, and PlayStation games are coming to, you know, like, PC these days. They already got, like, God of War and some other, like Uncharted popping up on PC now. Like, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, Street Fighter Cross Tekken is already on PC, but...
I mean, it already is on PC. I'm saying if they wanted to, they could technically get him on there these days, but is somebody really gonna, like, update Street Fighter Cross Tekken in 2022 right now, just to add more characters to it?
Yeah, what the hell? Oh, what? Oh, there we go. For some reason, it's like...
the most we got, like, in that kind of era of Street Fighter was Ultra Street Fighter 4.
Yeah.
Which has, like, all playable versions of the Street Fighter 4 variants of the character being able to use.
And you have some of the original Cross Tekken characters that passed out.
Yeah, they were added into the game.
Yeah. Poison, Hugo, Rolento, and Elena, which is fun. Elena is not that much fun, but the other three.
Yeah, you got the other ones.
The other ones are really cool. Yeah.
That's why I'm like half expecting. I know, like, because like you thought Street Fighter V was done for Championship Edition, but then they released more things with more characters.
Yeah, they didn't have another option there. They needed to like extend.
They needed to do something because originally they wanted to do Street Fighter 6 earlier, but then apparently the version of Street Fighter 6 did not test well. So they're like, what do we do? Let's add more characters to Street Fighter 5. Okay.
Wasn't because of the renown. I think it was the renounce of Ono happening at that time.
That happened due to the reception of the behind-the-scenes production for Street Fighter 6.
Oh, right.
That was a part of it. Like, one, it was also how Street Fighter 5 was receptive, because, again, vanilla Street Fighter 5, no arcade mode or anything.
That's
just the verses. and the
Yeah.
story. No single player stuff, and people weren't too happy about that.
Yeah,
and also the base character roster too was also kind of lacking.
I remember that because for the release, I was like starting doing YouTube content around that. I remember the release of Street Fighter V was so weird. Like, why do we have just 16 characters as a base?
Why do
roster?
I gotta like how many fights? It's like you can unlock this character by earning fight money and stuff. Okay, so how many fights am I gonna have to do to?
And
just
that
unlock
system
the
still
character?
sucks because you need like how 10,000 to unlock a character.
You need so much credits just to unlock stuff.
And
better
you
off
get
just buying
50.
the edition that just comes with the character.
Yeah, and you
Or
get
just buying them
50
outright.
per fight. 50 per online fight, which is bullshit.
Like, you could use the fight money for, like, cosmetic stuff, but even then, like, by that point, it's like, I don't have time for that, just let me go buy it outright, you know?
Yeah,
I don't have time to do, like, 175 fights in Street Fighter.
And you needed to do it, like... Also, you need to do the missions, which also gives you something. And the arcade stuff.
I mean,
now.
like, the system could work, but the scale was, like, way too ridiculous.
Yeah, give me 100 per fight, and then we can do.
And then I can maybe like for 100 credits unlock an alternate color. I'm like, I can work with that.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, but still, even nowadays, they didn't change that. Like, they're still the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's about the same. I mean, pretty much, at that point, like I said, you can just buy the DLC outright. You don't have to fight anything anymore.
Yeah, this is a topic I wanted to like make into a video, but now that we're talking, let's talk about it. Like Maximilian.
But the other thing I wanted to mention too is like, because going off the Ultra Street Fighter 4. That's why I'm like about to say like I'm kind of half expecting at some point in the future we are gonna get like an updated version of Street Fighter 5 again, but this time it'll be like the Ultra Edition where it's like you can play as any variant of Street Fighter 5 characters.
Which technically is already out since none of the other versions change it that much to Street Fighter 5 unless you want to. Hey, I mean, Sorrow!
There'll be like some technical thing, you know what I mean? Like where it's like, hey, here's the vanilla version of Ryu fighting against Champion Edition Ryu or something, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I need that because the challenges for the combo trials need those old variants. All of the tries from season 1 onwards are useless now. Well, coming up,
because like the mechanics they're completely different. Like they're still based off of like some of the other things. It's like, why would I do this trial thing? Ryu's completely different now.
See, it's impossible. Like I, for example, main Ed, and I tried to do the OG trials he had for like the season he came out, and I can't do it anymore. Like I do it on the original.
Mechanically, he's completely different. Yeah.
Yeah. Mechanically, and some frames are way too like bad adjusted for the trial.
Yeah, frame data.
Yeah, the frame data changed a lot of things on that.
They had to do like the equivalent of that because this kind of all started with Hyper Street Fighter, which is gonna be in that Capcom fighting game collection. Again, to cycle back to that, that all started with Hyper Street Fighter 2 because that had every version of the Street Fighter 2 character available to fight one another.
Yeah,
like, that was like a whole thing.
With all on the unique mechanics of that Street Fighter 2 version. For example, you can fight OG Ryu versus Super Turbo Ken, which has the super mirror.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Which was pretty cool. Like back when they released that, I had that on like the PS2 because that was like the way you did it at the time. There was like an arcade machine, but then most folks got it with like the Street Fighter. They had like a Street Fighter collection on PS2 where you could get that as its own independent thing. But we need more of those kind of games where it's like I want to play every variant of a Street Fighter character in this era of Street Fighter. Like not just like Street Fighter 5 following the trend after Street Fighter 4 doing it, but if they can backport like some stuff, like if you get like a like kind of like a hyper Street Fighter Alpha or something, where you could have like Street Fighter's Alpha 1 to 3 variants or something, like that'd be fun. Like they had like a similar thing like that, I think in one of the Street Fighter collections. Like if we get a release of that as a thing, and then maybe even like Street Fighter 3 where you have all the variants of Street Fighter 3 characters.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Also, welcome Sorrow. Thank you for the follow, man. Um, keeping up with
Welcome.
keeping up with the conversation about DLC and all of that. I saw yesterday Maximilian did a couple of videos about the topic, and I have to say, free-to-play fighting games, I wish they have a thing. Like, they are a thing in some places. Like,
Free to play and cross play, please.
yeah, they
Especially
have that.
cross play, because it's like, dude, like why is like they're the exact same game, just on different platforms? Why can't I fight you?
Yeah. Also, there is examples of this working. Well, kinda. I tried
they're
out.
just starting to do it.
Yeah.
I wish it was more commonplace though.
Yeah, you have things like Brawlhalla and I think it's Fantasy Strike that are free to play and easy to pick up sometimes. But the netcode, for example, on Fantasy Strike can be jiffy if we're talking crossplay, because I remember jumping up on that game and having a lot of trouble trying to fight someone on PS4 compared to PC, for example. I don't know if it's the same with Brawlhalla, since that's a platformer fighter, and platformer fighters are way more manageable sometimes.
Yeah, Brawlhalla is a bit different. I mean, I don't play it as often as, but it's like, I mean, you get Brawlhalla on Switch, you can get it on PC, you get it on PlayStation. It's on like multiple platforms, so it's like different variables and other stuff. Another thing to consider too is like a good example would be Street Fighter V, where it was like so originally I played Street Fighter V on my vanilla PlayStation 4, like not even like a Slim or anything. Like I'm talking about like OG console release PS4, right?
Right.
Which has like certain load times on it. But then eventually I had to like make the upgrade to PS5 because my PS4 was acting up because, you know, it's launch release PS4. I didn't get a Slim or anything to replace it or anything. I was like, I had the option of getting a Slim or a PS5. PS5 is new and it would future-proof it for future games. I went with the PS5 even though it was slightly more expensive. But it was also like a birthday gift, so I tied in with that. But I played Street Fighter 5 Championship Edition on my vanilla PS4, and then I played it on my PS5, and there was practically no load times on that thing.
Wow.
Like, no load times. Like, I just, like, press a thing, start a fight, we're already fighting. And it's like, dude, like, it took me, like a whole minute or so, like a whole million years, feels like, in comparison, just to get a fight loaded on my vanilla PS4. So that's the thing with crossplay. So there's like all these different variables where it's like, you're playing on like a PS5 and this guy's on a PC and this guy's on a vanilla PS4. So there's different like load times and stuff. So there's all those variables. Where, like, oh man, it's like they gotta compensate for that because it's like the performance issues. It's like it's not on my end, it's on this guy's end. You know?
Yeah. Also on the chat, MS DOS box. If you know, you know. I don't know what that means, but whatever.
I suppose you know, you know.
Yeah, whatever. The thing is, yeah, I mean, online play and crossplay, it's nowadays for fighting games more common, thanks to, well, the implementation of Aurora netcode on some old games and newer releases.
Oh yeah, such a rollback.
Yeah, I really want to see some, like, if not free-to-play, a little more cheaper fighting games for that matter. Like, the model Maximilian presented is cool and all, like, having a free-to-play game, easy to jump up, having all the characters, and paying for the cosmetic and some extra stuff.
Right.
But
a lot of video games, like, for fighters, especially like with re-release, because like they were previously games before and stuff. They've been going to like the $20 to $40 range and stuff for a lot of fighting games as just the base game, not including DLCs and some other stuff. Which is still cheaper than the base price for a lot of AAA titles these days, where it's like 60 or even up to 70 if we're talking about like the new next gen consoles.
Yeah,
I still call them next gen, even though technically the current gen. But I don't consider like Like, here's another, like, little side thing. I don't consider next gen being current gen until almost everybody has that gen console.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wait. Like, if we're talking PS5 and Series X and stuff like that, like, they're technically current gen, but I don't consider, like, them current gen. I still call them next gen until, like, almost I talk to everybody like, hey, do you got that PS5 or Xbox yet? You know?
I consider next gen when they stop making games for that console.
That's fair.
That could be considered next gen because if you think about it, they still making PS4 games with
They'll make
PS5.
PS4 and Xbox One games, yeah.
Yeah, until they stop doing that and focus on PS5, you can consider everybody has a PS5. We are on the next gen now.
Yeah,
but
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, speaking of like cheap, quote-unquote cheap fighting games nowadays, I would like to bring up King of Fighters 15. Like, I ended up technically cheating on that price since it was technically an offer and I had a coupon at that time, so I ended up paying way less than it should be.
Hey, I mean, you use the coupon. Like, that's how you do it.
Yeah, and I'm still saying it's worth the price. Like, it's fun. And
solid.
Yeah, that's the thing with fighting games. You never know when you have your money worth the purchase. Like, you need to think about it. How many times I will play, how much time I will play, and do I enjoy this series or the mechanics of this series? So, yeah, a free-to-play model for that will be fantastic. Like, I know the free-to-play model is not good in some areas, like having a lot of microtransactions for stuff.
Yeah, you gotta balance the microtransactions or advertisements because sometimes you get like in-game ads for something where you're playing and suddenly a video starts popping up.
Yeah, we need to wait until Project L comes out. I'm thinking if Project L does it like a free-to-play model, just like League of Legends, that thing could like shake the fighting game community and the fighting game spectrum a lot with it.
Funny, you also have like free-to-play models and stuff because like other than like King of Fighters like 15, not really much of a fighting game. Going back to that weird relationship between beat 'em ups and fighting games, but also free-to-play, and then I suppose into like mobile a bit.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of the. I've been back to playing because I stopped for a bit, but I've been going back to it. I've been playing a lot of King of Fighters All Stars because they're doing a crossover. Street Fighter 5
I saw that
right now.
Yeah, I saw that. Well,
so you can have like Ryu, Chun-Li, Alpha Chun-Li, Luke, even from the new Street Fighter and stuff, Akuma, and M. Bison, and they even added storylines for the characters too.
Yeah. I remember because I played it all King of Fighters All Stars like a year ago, kinda, when the crossover with I think was Seven Deadly Sins was going on.
Yeah.
I remember playing a lot of that game, and it was fun. I have to admit, for a simple beat 'em up that it is, it made me realize how fun can be some of the characters without the crazy pretzel motion sometimes has.
Oh yeah, true. You just like tap a button for it once you get like pretty solid.
Yeah.
Funny enough, Maximilian and Justin Wong and stuff, they even had like a versus match on that to promote the Street Fighter crossover. Pretty cool. They had like a stream for it and everything. Yeah. But oddly enough, this has come up recently. I'm not sure if you heard about it. Have you seen Harada's fighting game bar?
Yeah. I saw it. Well, a few episodes.
Yeah, they talked about this recently, where they want to do like the big, like super big crossover between like legit like almost everybody, between like Capcom and SNK and Bandai Namco and.
That wasn't bring up on the round table that happened a few weeks ago.
Not the round table. The
Harada bar.
He does his own separate show where he talks to like independent developers, independently, like say somebody from Sega or somebody from Capcom individually.
He even interviewed
other than
Sakurai,
the round table. Yeah, like other than that, like he does individual like interviews and stuff. They talked about how. Like, they want to do that, but the logistics of trying to get that is still kind of, like, complicated. But right now, they also, like, mentioned, like, the closest thing to that, like, right now, even though it's not really a fighting game, is actually KOF All-Stars, because like with KOF All-Stars, you have King of Fighters characters, which again is already kind of like a Smash equivalent for like SNK.
Yeah.
But you have other things like Seven Deadly Sins, you got Dead or Alive in there, you got Guilty Gear, you got Street Fighter, you got Tekken, you have like characters that aren't even from like fighting games and stuff. You got like WWE in there, like with The Rock and John Cena, which is crazy.
Well, technically they are fighting game characters if we count the 2K series.
I mean, yeah, if you count that, but I mean, like...
Yeah, they are technically real-life actual people.
They're real people.
Yeah.
You have The Rock teaming up with Rock Howard. It's weird.
I need to is Angel on that game? I don't remember.
Yeah, she is.
Dude,
she is.
You have
they're
two
all the way
people's
up to-
elbows then, with the
Like
Rock and her.
KOF-wise, they're already up to 14, kind of, character-wise. They even have, like, variants, too. Like, they have, like, stuff from, like, obscure crossovers, where you have, like Baseball Uniform Yuri from Art of Fighting.
They are known as the
crazy.
All-Star type of character. Yeah, I know. You have,
Right.
Halloween costumes, you have, the, like, beach episode variants, which are really cool sometimes. Yeah, I know.
They even have like stuff like Gintama and like other crossovers, like just getting in there. And the crossovers too, it's not just like, hey, we got this character. No, they get like their own storyline stuff going on as well.
They added
and they're
like
fully
recently.
voiced.
Yeah.
Like fully voiced characters when they're fighting and stuff.
Yeah.
And they got their own themes. It's like, dude, that's crazy. How, like they got that as a game. When we're getting the actual fighting game equivalent, they don't know yet, because again, it's all crazy copyright stuff going on.
Oh yeah.
But folks, don't underestimate KOF All-Stars. They even got like a beta out for like a PC version of the game that people can play.
Oh please!
Like, if you want to play it on PC.
Oh please! I need access to that.
They have
really
that. They have that. Just look it up, like KOF All Stars PC. You can already download it. It's a little technical stuff, but that's why it's in beta phase right now. It's like it's an open beta, so anybody can download it.
I will try that out after the stream. I really want to.
Yeah, like that's the thing you can do. Other things you can do is technically. Android is kind of like an open source system. So what I used to do before they made the official PC app is I got BlueStacks or some kind of Android emulator, and you can run KF All Stars.
Okay, one thing I wanted to bring up about that is that when I tried on an emulator like BlueStacks, it kept crashing like a lot, and I tried to like troubleshooting online about that and ended up with no results about it because
it depends on like what settings you got. Like for example, you don't want to have it at like super maximum graphics or something.
No. It was all at minimum, like everything low, everything like enough to like run smooth on everything, like everything low if possible, but still crashed for some reason in between.
Well,
games.
I mean that's another reason why, like I said, they are working on the PC app right now. I mean, it's available to download.
Yeah.
I haven't tried it out yet since the latest Street Fighter update, but when I tried it out, it was working. So
yeah, I'm going to test it out a little bit. Yeah. I
really
want to get back.
If you get back into it, now's a good time to do it. If you want to get the Street Fighter characters, like if you just play the game for like a couple of days, you get Chun-Li for free. So
yeah, I mean, I already had my build. I don't know if I can recover it from the Android version.
Oh yeah, no, you can. Your account stuff is still carried over. Like if you just use the same login info, you can do that.
Right, my Google Play stuff. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's all connected to Google Play. You can just like
that's cool.
Reconnect that up, and then you can get back in there. I haven't played for like close to like a year or so, like maybe even a little bit more than that. And I came back for the Street Fighter crossover, and all my builds and everything were still there. And they were generous, because if you're a returning player, they just give you like a bunch of free stuff. Like they gave me like Orochi and like a ton of skill cards for free.
Yeah, I remember they gave me like, I think it was Orochi Yashiro. They gave me that guy, and I'm still using it. It's so cool.
They give you like a bunch of like level ups and like things they can use just for like being a returning player. And again, they're very generous. Like if you're playing through like the storyline, they also give you like a bunch of free rubies and stuff you can use for like summons and like other stuff too.
I remember,
it's like just from playing that's how you do free to play games. Play the game, you get stuff that you can unlock for free.
Yeah.
If you just put the time into it, you could get things. That's how you do it.
Yeah, that's the best thing.
Not like having
Yeah.
to grind, but just by playing casually, you can still unlock things.
Yeah, and you have this sentiment of progression that isn't like slow paced, like in Street Fighter V, for example. You feel you're earning stuff, and you can use it not a long time after. Like you have to play a few hours, maybe a few days a week, and that's it. You can literally just roll for a character.
And you're literally also progressing too, because you're playing actual storyline stuff. There's dialogue. There's a lot of stuff going on with that. It's not just like, oh, I'm just fighting and nothing's actually happening. No, you're progressing in a storyline. That's a dynamic storyline that's still moving. Characters have dialogue. There's unique music to it. And you're also leveling up skills and characters and other things too.
Interacting with the KOF story in general is so interesting. Like I always try to keep up, but there is a lot of stuff that happens on outside material of the game, like mangas and maybe some web pages I need to visit to get all of that for the storyline in general. But in KOF All Stars, you are the one interacting in the tournament in general. You're knowing what is going on the back and all of that.
And it's got an original story too, so even if you're familiar with the story of the game, like they have original story plot points as well, where it's like, oh, I already know the story of this game, but then did you know about this part? Like, I didn't know about this part. Or it's like you get something like King of Fighters 98, which was like technically a dream match, and they make an original plot line for it.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like, how does this dream match make sense? Well, we made a way to make it make sense.
What the hell? Well, yeah, technically everything that is happening is technically a dream match, but whatever.
Because that one has like literally like from that part of the Orochi saga, like all the characters, where it's like this character should be dead already. Like it's fine, don't worry about it. It's a dream match.
And I'm still waiting for the American sports team to come back. God damn it.
Everybody's waiting for it to come back. Well, they're back in KOF All-Stars, so if you want to play the American sports team...
You have twice the American sports team there,
which is funny. You got double the American sports team, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
You get them in there. And then that's not even more than twice, because you got the special variants, like the AS version.
Wait. They have AS version now?
Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. What the hell?
Yeah, they got variants of them now.
I didn't even know that, because when I was playing, the only two variants you have are 94 and 98. Nothing else.
They got special variants of them now, so it's like you have even more than just the base versions of them.
Oh, let's go. I need to roll.
If you ever want to get back into it too, I also got because I established like a guild back when the game was like new and stuff. Like
I'll let you know.
You get like you get bonuses for like joining up on guilds and everything, and then like you both get rewards if you're a part of one. Like hey, we both helped out trying to fight a raid boss version of Geese Howard. So we both get rewards out of it.
Yeah, I remember that. I think I'm in a guild, but I think I can just get out and let you know.
Yeah, it's totally up to you.
Yeah. Well, that is cool. I didn't even know there was like a beta for KOF All Stars for PC. I will try it after a stream.
Yeah,
sure.
Look into it. Like right now, I think there's still some technical stuff going on because they just added Street Fighter stuff. Because the Street Fighter guys, they got their own unique mechanics too. Because they're bringing Street Fighter stuff into the game. So I think that's why it's kind of a little bit iffy or how it's working with the PC beta version at the moment, but
which is weird.
It's still good to have the app on there because they're gonna update it. It's currently in beta. That's why it's a beta, not a full release yet for PC.
It's still a little bit weird.
It's still an open beta though.
Yeah.
So you can download it whenever.
It's still a little bit weird though. They have unique mechanics, quote unquote, for Street Fighter characters since they implemented the same mechanics for everybody. Just grab special moves and supers from the games, like with the Guilty Gear characters, or even the other crossover games like Sam's Show, Dead or Alive, and the WWE characters. They have the simple system of two special moves, one super, one ultra super, which is the card one.
experimenting with like more things to make it more unique. So that's they were successful with what I think they were trying to do. They were trying to get people who might have even dropped the game a while ago to come back, just because like, hey, we got Street Fighter characters, but they also have new mechanics too. So you might want to check that out. It's like they got me back into playing the game after not playing for a really long time.
This section
like that's how you get people back to free-to-play games as well. You do something amazing, and you want to get back in, and no worry, no hassle, because it's a free-to-play game to get back in.
This section just transformed into a huge KOF All-Star advertising. I love it.
Hey, KOF All-Stars, come sponsor us. Give us some codes.
Wait.
I want those summons.
Yeah, me too, but...
I'm still trying to get Ryu.
How in the...
I got Chun-Li, I got classic Chun-Li from Alpha, and I got Luke. I don't have Ryu yet, please.
Ryu isn't like the rarest one of all.
He's one of the rares, but I'm getting to the point where I'm doing enough summons where I'm almost to the point where I could choose who my free summon is, and I'm just gonna go straight for Ryu as soon as it lets me.
Oh, so you have the pity one. Cool.
Yeah, he's gonna be probably my pity guy. Like, I unlocked all the other, like, I don't have Bison or Akuma yet, but from the regular base summon set.
Isn't, like, those two coming up later with regular Chun-Li or something?
No, they're already there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, there's even, like, a special boss battle you can do against Akuma and other stuff.
Yeah,
Ryu has his own, like, special storyline going on, too, in the game.
Yeah. That just makes me think, is there a possibility for Capcom vs SNK 3?
I mean, like, if we're going on certain things, SNK has been re-releasing some Capcom-related material when it comes to stuff like SNK vs. Capcom Match of Millennium and SNK vs. Capcom Card Fighters Clash.
Yeah, there's a
They re-released that on, like stuff like Switch and even Steam PC, so...
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
They got this crossover going on, so maybe they might have worked something out.
I hope so, because that will be cool, including new characters from the games that came out after Capcom vs SNK 2, like Nest Saga, Crimson Saga characters from SNK, or Street Fighter 4 and 5 characters from Street Fighter. Street Fighter 3 characters even, like the only one there.
Not even just those, but like, because again, it's like Capcom versus SNK or SNK versus Capcom. You got like other games, like other than Street Fighter even, or like other than King of Fighters, like you can pull from.
Yeah, but if you think about it, aside of like rival schools and grounded type fighting games you can have on Capcom's side,
I mean, you got stuff like Darkstalkers in there too.
Yeah, but the thing is, one point I saw on a builder roster for Capcom vs SNK 3 by Thorgy's Arcade. If you can check the channel later, I'll maybe pass that out. The guys say Capcom vs SNK is based on basically the King of Fighters meets Street Fighter.
Oh yeah, for the most part. Yeah,
for the most
I
part.
think that was also technical issues at the time too, because it's like they're the base. They're their main fighting games or their main things at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for a concept of like fighting, they are their poster boys for fighting. So it makes sense why they'd use it as like the base. But now that like it's been years since the last one, I think they can play around with it a little bit more if they really wanted to.
Yeah, I'm still thinking like characters like outside of Morrigan, like Dimitri and maybe some other Darkstalker characters could be a little too much, but yeah, even Dante and Virgil, Nero, I mean, yeah, they could fit, but still, well, yeah, they could fit.
Where you put them too, like also like if you scale them a bit as well. I mean, you can even do like even more obscure stuff. Like here's a fun thing. Do you know originally they wanted to have like Gene from God Hand in Marvel Capcom, but they pulled him out at the last minute?
Oh, god damn it.
Yeah, like we could have had full Team Clover with like Gene, Amaterasu, and Beautiful Joe. That would have been so cool.
Oh, that could be so cool nowadays.
But yeah, somebody like him, he could also work in there if they really wanted to. Like,
yeah.
They wanted to, like,
well, if they include
obscure where they're pulling from.
If they include Gene, for sure need to include Beautiful Joe and maybe some Devil May Cry characters just to pop off, like maybe Dante.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Now I want that. Now I want that for sure. God damn it.
And you can do stuff like that, and then like also if we're pulling stuff on the SNK side, like they had their own kind of like SNK fighter with Neo Geo Battle Coliseum. You had somebody like Marco from Metal Slug being a fighter.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That could be like the thing. You could have him as a fighter for SNK side.
Yeah, either him or Theo, because I remember in Maximum Impact, she was a playable character.
Theo was a Maximum Impact, yeah.
Either that or we are going the weird road with SNK vs. Capcom Chaos with the alien.
Oh, yeah, the Mars.
Oh,
the Martian.
Fuck, I remember that. Shit.
That was a whole thing, yeah.
Yeah, if they go that road, then bring back Zero from there too. What the hell?
Yeah, Zero and stuff. Like again, there's a lot they can play. They can do with it.
Yeah, I love the that was unique for Capcom vs SNK at the time. That they mixed up the bosses' powers. Like they give the Satsui no Hado to Orochi to Rugal, or they give the Orochi powers to Akuma. That was wild.
Yeah, they did that like on like both ends too. Like they even in like the SNK versus Capcom match of Millennium, they played around with stuff. Like if you look at like I always thought the version of Evil Ryu was unique in that one because they made him like a zombie in that, like a zombie Evil Ryu, and it's like he has a unique fight pose. Like his fighting pose in that game, it's not just the simple like palette swap. It's Ryu, but he's wearing darker colors and he's evil. Like no, he looks like a because he's got like Orochi power and stuff as Evil Ryu.
Ooh.
And he's kind of like looking like a zombie.
Wait.
And it's crazy.
Yeah, they did the same with Ken on SNK vs. Capcom Chaos too.
Yeah, Violent Ken.
Yeah, that needs to come back too. Now that I think about it, because funny enough, on the Capcom side, they did bring back Violent. Yeah, on Ultra Street Fighter 2 for the Switch.
Yeah,
remember.
Yeah, that was a crazy moment because it's like, wow, okay, because technically, like, because the history of Violent Ken is weird because it's based off of Brainwash Ken from the Street Fighter 2 animated movie that they had in the 90s.
Yeah.
And then they used that for the SNK versus Capcom SVC Chaos game, and then they bring it back to Capcom in the Ultra Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, I remember making...
The history is weird.
I remember making the video on it when I was doing YouTube stuff back in 2015 or something.
That's about right.
Because when the game was about to come out, I was thinking, well, why don't do a recap on the story of this character since it's a rare character that never pops up. And I ended up making the connection that the movie happened after Capcom vs SNK Chaos, but now that I think about it, it doesn't make any sense. And they are completely different characters, knowing the context of Violent Ken on SNK and all of that. Which makes even less sense knowing that Ken doesn't have the Satsui no Hado on Street Fighter 2? But whatever.
The way they kind of explained it in the movie was he was brainwashed and it was like psycho power.
Yeah, he was brainwashed by Bison, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Again, just piecing all that together, like the history and lore between like certain things that video games is popping up, especially during crossovers, is like a fun thing I like doing. Like just going through like games and stuff, looking at the lore, learning about things, and like, oh hey, this is a reference to this one game that they had before when they show up in this crossover. I can't believe they mentioned that in the crossover. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could be like a very obscure reference, but like, hey, they remembered.
Yeah. Which is cool nowadays if you think about it, about Capcom. Usually they don't mention that much old IPs, but nowadays they are embracing it like they are Sega. Like they're referencing
they're embracing the Sega and the nostalgia and like everything. Like, did you see that one Yeah, no, you've seen it. The Capcom fighting stage they had like coming
Yeah,
up for Street Fighter V,
the last Capcom Cup stage, which is
Yeah.
basically Capcom the theme park. I love it.
They got Captain Commando references, they got Street Fighter references, they got Darkstalker references.
Cyberbot, Red Earth, even
It's all over the place.
Star Guardian, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love when companies does that because I'm a sucker for reference. If you have reference to other things or previous games, I really love that. For example, the Luke story mode, when he came out, I saw it. I saw his father was the original guy from the first Street Fighter, the one who breaks the wall.
Yeah.
I love that reference. I don't know what it is about it, but I really love it.
Street Fighter 1, people often forget about that because they were on there with Street Fighter 2, but now just OG Street Fighter.
Yeah. And the guys from the Street Fighter 2 intro are on the stage too.
Yeah, the guys from the Street Fighter 2 intro where they're just fighting. It's like, hey, these games are fighting in the intro. Where are they in the game? Well, they're doing their own thing.
Yeah, and the guy who cries for the broken car from Final Fight and Street Fighter 4.
Yeah, same dude.
Same dude and same car.
Same dude, same car, going every time. He can never catch a break.
Yeah.
But it's stuff like that that's pretty cool. I love seeing stuff like that. That's why eventually at some point too, I wanted them to do it. They kind of messed around with it in Street Fighter V, where like they had retellings of the tournament of Street Fighter 1 done with the characters who would kind of fit in that era. But like at the same time too, it's like Capcom, if we get a chance to, fans have already done this, but if we could get like a actual fighting game remake of Street Fighter 1, that'd be pretty cool. Where you play as like all the different Street Fighter 1 characters.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be too hard to do, and people would still buy it because it's got Street Fighter in the title.
Yeah, true.
Because with Street Fighter 1, you're either Ken or Ryu, and you can't really select anybody else in Street Fighter 1, even though those characters sometimes pop up or get mentioned elsewhere.
Yeah.
And then, like, fans, they were like, we want to make this into an actual fighting game, because the other thing, too, is, like, you still had the inputs in that game, but it was kind of, like, really hard to perform an Hadouken or a Shoryuken in Street Fighter 1, even if you know the inputs.
Now that I think about it, the only characters from that game that returned in some point or some way are Eagle in SNK versus Capcom versus SNK 2. We have Seku, that it's supposed to be a Street Fighter 1 character. Gen, which was on Alpha and on Street Fighter 4. And then they say Mike, the boxer from Street Fighter 1, is technically Balrog, but I'm not so sure about it.
Yeah, some folks are saying that there's a weird continuity involved there, but like there's other connections as well, because they got like stuff like Retsu and stuff like being connected, like Retsu and Lee being connected to the two twins in Street Fighter.
Oh yeah. And then you have Seku connected to the
Yang and Yoon, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like the fighting styles based
Yang and Yoon and to
Street Fighter 1 character.
Yeah. And connected to Guy because he's using how is it called, the martial art that Guy uses? I don't remember now. Bushinryu? I think it is.
Yeah.
Well, still though.
Because again, Street Fighter is originally Street Fighter was supposed to be a spin-off of Final Fight, but then it just ended up overtaking it in popularity.
Yeah, overtake the universe at this point. Everything is now Street Fighter if you think about it. Even Strider Hiryu.
Yeah, they're bringing Strider into Street Fighter.
Yeah, saying that the predecessor for the martial art that the hunters use. Well, hunters? Well, the thing, Hiryu's part.
Fighters themselves.
Yeah,
like he's
the Striders.
Guy's master is supposed to be the guy starting off the new ninja organization that becomes the Striders.
Yeah, takes a long time.
But, because again, Strider is another one of those crazy things where it's like technically, like Strider or Captain Commando takes place in the future of that timeline.
Do you remember Street Fighter 2010? I'm still thinking that isn't canon at this point.
No, that one is definitely not canon anymore. No, that one is.
That is canon. I think
it's been well established. It's not like they went on like you might get the occasional reference here and there, but that one is definitely not canon. But you have stuff like Captain Commando, which is legit the same city as Final Fight, just in the future.
Yeah. Well,
like, that's a whole thing.
Yeah. Do you think we need to wrap it up right now?
Yeah, we can do that. If you have any things you want to wrap it up, we can.
I think we're golden, dude. This was a really good
we
talk.
talked about a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. This was a really good
Again,
talk.
I know my video game history. I know my lore. I love video games.
Yeah, same with me, dude. I really love that. And some references are really not missable and all of that. But yeah. Do you have any?
I collect the art books. I collect the art books, and I watch the interviews and a bunch of other cool things.
Also, I forgot to bring this up, but I'm pretty knowledgeable that you have history with SNK. How much history do you have with them? Like, I know you're a mod for them, but how much that connects to your past?
Well, I'm friends with one of the community managers, so. Like, that's how kind of, like, got in with that. That's also, like, kind of like, also, hey, get more good mod on there and stuff. The funny story how that all started was, this is a while back, not too far back, but, you know when Terry was becoming a character for Smash Brothers?
Yeah.
So, what happened was, at the time, before that happened, the new Samurai Showdown released, right?
Yeah.
And I'm already, like, a fan of, like, SNK games, like, you know, fighting games in general, because, you know, I've been playing it for years. I was there for the arcade stuff. I've played the old school Samurai Showdown, that kind of stuff. The new Samurai Showdown was just released, and I was streaming it, because at the time, you know, just a regular streamer. I wasn't a VTuber yet.
Yeah.
But I was playing Samurai Showdown, and the community manager was watching us play the game. He was popping in. It was, like, brand new, like, hey, I'm checking out different streamers, playing the game and stuff. And there was already a reoccurring joke with a friend of mine who loves Fatal Fury and King of Fighters, and Terry Bogard is a character. Like, it's one of my favorite characters of all time.
Yeah.
Right? But he's not really too much into fighting games too much, or into, like, Smash Brothers that much. He didn't even have Smash Brothers. And he was like, I'm not really into Smash Brothers. I don't think anything would get me to play the game. I was like, but what if they add Terry Bogard to Smash Brothers? As like a joke, and then it became a recurring joke on our show that, like, oh man, like, can't wait for that Terry Bogard release to have him in the game. So you finally had to get Smash Bros. Because he said we had a bet, like, saying, hey, if I win and Terry gets in the game, you're gonna have to buy that game and the DLC for him. That's like a thing, and this is also. Like months up to like a year before Terry was even considered on the table, or they revealed him. Thing like I know eventually like there might have been like some leaks, but this was even before the leaks or anything, right?
I don't remember any leak about Terry. I remember the leak mentioning Sora, Shadow, and some other stuff, but never Terry Bogard. Never.
This is closer to when he was like being revealed and stuff, because I think there was like some kind of licensing thing, like somebody at Nintendo kind of jumped the gun and added SNK to like the different companies on their credits list or something at some point, but even then nobody knew who from SNK would be. It would be like, it could have been Kyo or Iori or even the dude from Metal Slug. Like, it could have been anybody at the time, but some folks were expecting some kind of like SNK involvement, but this was even before then. So it was just like an offhand comment, like every time my friend shows up, it's like, yeah, we can't wait for that Terry Bogard release. So we're playing Samurai Showdown, right? And I throw that down, because, like, not thinking about it, because, like, again, like, we're playing, we're being casual about it, but I forgot that, you know, the SNK manager, community manager was watching, right?
Right.
So, we made that joke. It's like, he was like, Terry, where did you hear about that showing up in Smash Bros? Because at the time, because he would have to know by that point that Terry was going to show up eventually, right?
Kinda, yeah.
But he couldn't say anything about it. But I think he was like joking about it. But he's wondering, wait, do I know something? Like, do I know the and everything?
Oh God.
Like, did I already know at the time? Like, how would I know that Terry? But like I had to I was like saying, oh no, we're joking. Like I had to fully explain that whole thing. It was like my friend really likes Terry Bogard. He does not own Smash Brothers, but we made a bet if Terry ever showed up in Smash Brothers, he would have to buy the game and the DLC. But that's how it kind of got to start there. Where it's like, okay, this guy kind of knows his SNK history, but it's also he kind of predicted that Terry Bogard would show up in Smash without any information or leaks or anything. Because again, this was like some time before it was officially announced or even leaked that Terry would show up. And then they started doing some official Twitch streams with SNK, with Samurai Showdown, the history of like SNK games, and other crazy stuff. So I started watching those, and eventually like, hey, you know what's up? You're a streamer too. You want to be a mod? I'm like, yeah, sure, I can go. I know my fighting game history and other stuff involving your games. I'll go for it. And like, so I became a mod on the Twitch, and then eventually that led into Discord when they opened up the Discord, and it worked out pretty well, which also led up to me also playing the KOF 15s because they're like, hey, you're a mod on here, go get some KOF 15 on you.
Oh, that's cool. Well, yeah, I mean, that's a cool history because when Terry was revealed, I was expecting Kyo, which is funny, but
a lot of people were expecting Kyo.
Yeah, but if you really think about it, makes more sense to have Terry, since you want to include not the game specifically, you want to include the history of the company. And the history of fighting games from SNK starts from Fatal Fury. Mm-hmm. That makes more sense when I analyze that in detail, because
like Terry Bogard being one of their most iconic characters, like they had to like pick some characters and stuff. Terry's like pretty up there because he's like the quote all-American character, especially with all his English and crazy maneuvers. Like people, like he's got memes off him. Buster Wolf.
Wova wova, I'm in the pink today, boy. I'm
got
still
lots of different stuff.
Yeah. Terry technically, is at least literally SNK poster boy. Like Ryu is for basically.
They even had the anime in the 90s and stuff. Like they had anime for Fatal Fury. They had animes for it.
More than one, technically.
Yeah, multiple.
Yeah.
So it was really cool that they brought back the animator for that, for the intro of KOF 15. That was fun.
Yeah, that looks weird on HD, because if you watch
90s,
that
full 90s style.
Yeah, if you watch something 90s style that HD, it feels weird but cool at the same time. I don't know how.
I felt something similar too when I was like rewatching the Street Fighter 2 animated movie when they remastered that for like Blu-ray. It was like, well, it looks so clean.
Oh yeah. But anyhow, let's wrap it up this. Well, thank you very much for coming up, Jakato. I really appreciate it.
Anytime.
Yeah. I might probably repeat this someday, because usually in this show I like, for future episodes, if possible, I wanted to like re-invite the previous guest if they want to. But that will be in a few episodes after this. I don't know how many, that's the thing. But yeah, a pretty busy guy that I barely get a hold of usually. So I would recommend you watch out, because I don't know if the curse is ended or not, but after I interview I have a guest here, they ended up pretty busy afterwards, and I'm pretty sure you will, so please watch out.
Maybe, depending. I mean, I already had a busy week ahead of time, so maybe I preemptively took care of the busyness. Who knows?
Yeah,
we'll see.
Let's see
how it goes.
We'll see. I'm guessing you will be busy on like King of Fighters 15, April 14 update with the boss.
Yeah, the boss rush update. Yeah,
I'm going to be streaming that. For sure. Like I'm not so sure how many times I will, but I'm going to be like at least 2 hours dying against Rugal.
Bring him back the SNK boss. Can he even beat him? Who knows?
Well,
Because
yeah.
SNK bosses, that's a whole thing. We didn't even get a chance to delve into that, but that's a story for another time. People can just look it up. Just look up SNK boss syndrome.
Yeah. Just
Look
though.
it up.
One thing though, if you want to bring back Ignis, nerf the shit out of him. Like that shit was so cheap. What the hell?
Well, trust me, there's a lot of cheap SNK bosses.
No, yeah, I know.
Very
King of Fighters
difficult.
94 is the start from there, but still though. I can take the unfair genocide cutter with no hitbox, but I cannot take Ignis having an infinite with just one button. Like, not even kidding you.
Because, like, again, because like going to circles and stuff. I actually just recently unlocked Ignis in KOF All Star as one of my return rewards.
Oh,
he's one of the return rewards. If you haven't played in a while, you just unlock him playing.
You got to be kidding me!
For like a day or two. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, I'm
like
going to
you level
enjoy
up this character, here's Ignis. You level up Ignis, here's another character. It's like it's a whole chain where it's like we give you a free character, you level up that guy, here's another free character. You level up that guy, here's another free character.
And then you
get like five or six free characters just for returning after I haven't been on there for like a year or so.
Holy shit.
Well, yeah. Well, like now's the time to really get back into that game.
I'm going to call out something now that you are here, and I don't know if your bosses or someone from SNK will be watching, but I'm going to call out that Rugal will not be the only one returning. Like, I know Rugal is a free character, because technically he's the most iconic boss on video game history at this point, but I'm guessing in the future we will have a boss rush mode. Like, not just Rugal, but they will include all the bosses from the SNK library at this point.
Yeah.
Like, for example, let's start 94 Rugal, then we go for Goodness on 97, then we go for the first boss from 99, which is Chrysalid, then we go for Clone Zero, from Zero, Ignis, and then the bosses from the Crimson Saga ended up with Otomaraga and the 15 boss. That will be so cool.
I can see it. I mean, plotline wise, a lot of characters are even dead or back to life now. So.
Yeah, I analyzed a little bit of that too. Yeah, thanks to Otomaraga, the timeline has revived a lot of characters. That's why the 3 Secret Treasures are back together as a team.
Yep.
Yeah. I saw it. I love that. I really love that because you're literally bringing back the KOF Dream Match as a canonical thing. That's so cool. That's so cool. Because the last Dream Match was KOF 12, if I remember correctly, right? Then you have KOF 13 that has basically the ending for the Crimson Saga. And now you have KOF 14 and 15 being practically dream matches at this point.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
They had a lot of like crossover stuff in there, or characters being revived and other crazy stuff going on.
And Pachinko girls, yeah.
Yeah, true.
And Nakaruru, for sure. That's
Nakaruru
that's
popping
cool.
up. That was interesting.
Yeah. I wonder if there will be more Sangshook characters here, or maybe Last Play or something.
I mean, potentially. I mean, if we're going like how far back are people being revived? Because that could be an excuse to bring them into the modern.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, you could have like if they really wanted to, they could do a whole Sam Show thing because it's like, hey, they've been revived. They're like, what?
Yeah, true. Well, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, again, thank you for coming up, and
no problemo.
And thank you guys for watching. So one more thing before we go. Do you have anyone we could rate right now? I mean, I know it's like
yeah, sure. Let me take a look real quick.
So we rate him, and we're out.
I'm gonna check my handy dandy Twitch follows list and see if anybody either my friends list or follows list is doing anything. Let me just take a look real quick. Boop, doop, 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 doop. Doop, doop, doop. Let's see. I'm gonna scroll a little bit. Hey, that Daenerys Den is streaming right now. I can totally raid that.
You're already here.
I know. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry.
Let's see. I have a friend of mine. I have talked in a hot moment. Dragon Karask. He's doing early morning Pokemon.
Okay. Yeah, give me the name on the chat, and I will just do the battle, right?
Yeah, sure. We'll do it on the Twitch so people can totally check him out.
Sure.
Dragon Rask. There you go. Bam.
Yeah. Dragon Krask.
Doing some early morning Pokemon. That's always fun.
There we go. So yeah. Thank you guys again for showing up, and thank you again, Jakato. See you guys next time. Bye bye.
Later.